Hello, welcome to Tuesday. I am Laura West, and yeah, I'm Laura West with the Center for Joyful Business at joyfulbusiness.com. I was just looking at my screen. I'm just letting go, which is really a lot of what we're going to be talking about today. Um, for over 18 years, I have been working, almost 20 years actually. I have been working with entrepreneurs of all types, a lot of soul-driven, heart-based entrepreneurs, tons of coaches of all types, healers, speakers, people who really want to get their work out there and make a difference. They really want to create their big ripple that they're meant to create in the world. And what I have noticed is over the last few years, particularly over probably the last 2 years, the last year, even in 2019, and we're barely in this year, things are just getting faster and faster and faster. And the number one thing that I hear from my clients, hands down, is they're overwhelmed. And they get overwhelmed with the stuff, overwhelmed with the technology, overwhelmed with the marketing options and the strategies, and overwhelmed with the inner guts. I'm not sure, for lack of a better word. The amount that you have to really step into, the courage, the vulnerability that it takes to put yourself out there. And I hear that a lot. So I just want to say hi to Irv. Thanks for joining, one of my amazing clients here in Atlanta. Excuse me. So I don't have a total script. I have some ideas of some things I want to share with you today. This has been bubbling up, this idea of what I call business alchemy. Excuse me. And alchemy is the idea of turning something ordinary into something extraordinary. And that's what I believe about our businesses, is that we are taking kind of what you might call ordinary ideas, and through adding our own beautiful brilliance, our brilliant genius, we are turning it into something extraordinary. And it is a transformational process, both as a business owner, entrepreneur, and then also, of course, what your clients experience when they work with you. But what I know is, like, we get excited when we hear that. Most of you are probably nodding your head saying, yes, I get it. We're doing alchemy. The thing is, we can't just do alchemy with our clients. We have to really embrace the idea of alchemy within ourselves and within our businesses. And this idea that we are taking everyday ideas and tools and turning them into something extraordinary. And it used to be that you could do this through kind of this traditional paradigm of, show up, work, keep working some more, and you work really hard, and harder and harder, and you sacrifice. And that is so not working for most of us. But then what happens, then this whole kind of industry was created. So we have the traditional work really hard, sacrifice your soul. This other wave of passion-based entrepreneurs, heart-based entrepreneurs kind of rose to the surface, started gathering in communities saying, yes, we want this over here. And we want this other place of creating from our heart and creating from our soul. But what I've noticed, is that we're still applying and buying into, quite frankly, these old rules, the old beliefs, and that to truly be heart-based, actually, I'm going to change that a little bit. It's not about an either or. What I know is that it's about the whole. That there are times for what I call discipline with grace, and there are times where you can lean more into your heart, and times where, thank God I have a brain, right? Thank goodness for my mind. Lots of times it's that middle area, like, how do we move between the two? And to me, that is where the alchemy is. Because if we're too much on one side, then we're missing another part. Now, a lot of people, we don't always access we might access our heart a little bit, but then we get into business and then all of a sudden we kind of forget to stop and slow down so that we can hear those soul whispers. And that happens so often. Just want to say hi. I see a few people are joining us. Welcome. And we really do get caught by the constant pressure to use new ideas, use these new strategies. Oh, there's another squirrel, sexy squirrel that's saying, come over here, use this marketing strategy, do this, do video in this way. There's so many different possibilities. But instead of those possibilities enhancing what it is that we're trying to do, it actually starts diminishing and keeping us stuck, keeping us in that overwhelmed place. And it's really hard to create, you step into your magnificence. It's really hard to step into your potential when you're feeling pulled in so many different directions. So yeah, I've gone through this recently in a big way, probably multiple ways over the last couple of years. Excuse me. We've got all the, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and all of the pollen is starting to come out. So all of us are going around with kind of gargly throats. Yeah, I've been going through a big kind of, I feel like the universe has said, okay, Laura, your business is growing, your impact is growing, all this is growing, but your systems haven't grown. Your computer needs to change. So of course my computer has crashed. My laptop isn't up to date. My desktop crashed. All of my systems were screaming to get my attention. And that's what our life does. It gives us these different types of life shocks. There's a great book actually called Life Shocks that is talks about all these little moments in our life that has us wake up and feel really alive. Sometimes it's really good, and sometimes the life shocks are not so good. Sometimes they're little, sometimes they're huge. But we got to pay attention. We have to pay attention to these life shocks because they're giving us messages. And you can't do that when you're trying to hustle 24/7. Not saying that you don't have to work hard sometimes. We all have our times where we have to make tough decisions, where we have to work a few extra hours, or we're on a big project. But the doing it constantly is not sustainable, for one. And it also has you not, it really blocks access to hearing your soul's whispers, really hearing your intuitive nudges, those creative ideas that might take layered with your big idea, but those other creative type of ideas that can help make it something really quite extraordinary. And the thing is, we have to unplug from the constant influx of information and ideas and what everybody else says our business needs to look like, and really have a practice of going inside to find out, like, what is it I really want, that I want? What do I want my business to look like? That's one of the things I've done over the last couple of years since my divorce. That was one of my wake-up calls. What is it that I want to create, that letting go of what everybody else says a successful business coach should look like. And more I'm finding that the more I go inside and I do the inner work, that then the outer work, it happens. I'm not going to say effortlessly, but lots of time magic happens, that you are, it's not a 1 + 1 = 2. It's a 1 + 1 = wow, something that wasn't even on the counting range, wasn't even on that number scale. Yeah, so it's that idea of, and you can't just do it once, like go inside once. This becomes part of your daily practices, becomes daily rituals, becomes part of your habits. And everybody does it a little bit different. For some people, it is movement, combining some sort of movement, yoga, running, working out, dancing, moving your body in some way, even taking a walk. I know that just totally shifts my energy every time. And also usually clears the air, when I feel things have gotten, that overwhelm is really swirling in my brain. That's really good. Using a stone. I have one right here. This is a desert rose stone that's kind of prickly, actually. And for whatever reason, instead of wanting a smoother stone or my beautiful carnelians and things like that, then I'm wanting something that has some grip to it and something that's keeping me really awake. So I love to use stones. I love to use card decks, journaling. You know, getting out of your home office, going to what I call creative cafe time, where you read something inspirational, you might journal, and you get some idea, some time to plug into those ideas. Let those ideas download, because you can't hear the ideas sitting at your desk. I always say that inspiration happens outside your office, implementation happens inside your office. And what I know is when things start getting bunched up for me, that's a sign I need to get out of my office. Usually I'm thinking that I need to work harder and lean over my desk and dive into my computer even more, but in fact I need to let go and surrender. And that can be a tough word, especially in this world where you know, we're really bombarded by messages of this, you know, more traditional masculine patriarchy type of messages that say we need to work harder. If only you worked harder, if only you were faster, if only you didn't get up from the computer. And we hear the balance, and that's the other messages, you know, about, oh, you need to get up every 90 minutes, you need to stretch your muscles. We hear it, but are we integrating it? Are we actually doing it? And what I find is for most of my clients, and even myself, you know, there's a piece that says, there's still those inner messages, the old messages that pull me back to, I still need to work harder. I still need to, if only I was doing it this way. And what I'd love to invite you to is this idea of, it's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's this idea of business alchemy. And this idea that, that there's another way to grow your business. Like there's this whole other level of using, sorry, I forgot to turn off my phone. My kids are all texting me. There's this whole other level of how you can grow your business in a way that is, that combines action and combines what I call discipline with grace. Right? Not discipline to beat yourself up, but discipline with grace. But it combines it with what I call joy flow. Joy flow is about, like I'm just saying it, my heart opens up. So it is about having a heart opening. It is about being so aligned with your values, with your vision, with your energy and what it is, and your integrity, your authenticity. And you know, there's a lot of talk about authenticity these days. Everybody's like, yes, you have to be authentic. But it's not that easy to let go and unravel the layers. Usually it's unraveling them from your neck and from your heart and things that are squeezing your brain to unravel those layers, peel back those layers so that you truly can show up being authentic. And when you really show up authentic, that is when your presence starts exuding, and you're able to work with your energy and more of and working with the resonance of your energy. So I'm still finding the words. I didn't sit down and create this exact outline. I just put a couple of notes because I really wanted you to, just wanted to converse with you about some of these ideas that have been going on for me. So this idea of working with joy flow, lots of times I ask my clients and my community, I have a Big Ripples Facebook community, as many of you who are on here know. And on Friday, we'll say, what are your joy flow sightings? And on all my calls, I talk about joy flow. And joy flow is more than just the end result. Okay, where's the joy? What are you grateful for? It's actually about the process of how do you connect into that joy flow? How do you connect into that abundance current? Actually, I'm going to pull something right here. I just saw this laying here. This is what I think of when I think of the abundance current. If you remember in Finding Nemo, they had the sea turtles and that were in this big current, and it went really fast. And Nemo was like, "There's no way we can get to Sydney and help our friend." And the turtles were like, "Hey, dude, we got another way." Hey, dude, if you can get to Sydney if you tap into this current. So I call this the universal abundance current. And we use what I call the joy flow process of connecting into that current where 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, as I said, and 1 + 1 actually equals something that's off the number scale, and that things can happen that are over and beyond even what you vision. So that is more of what we're going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about it on some Facebook Lives over the next couple of weeks. But I'm also having a retreat that is coming up in October, and we are going to be talking about business alchemy, how to grow your business, really live into your potential, create extraordinary opportunities from a place that is different than hustle, 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 work 24/7, sacrificing your soul. Those they don't work for us. And we are, whether you know this or not, the fact that you're on this or listening to this, watching this, you are a pioneer, because this is something that is, you're leading the way in pioneering this new way of being in the world, where it's not about put your nose to the grindstone and work hard, and you must do 50 different marketing strategies. What if there's a whole nother way to use your energy, your resonance, and your presence to be able to do this? That's what we're going to be talking about at the next Creative Business Retreat by the Sea. There's Tracy there. Tracy and Marie are on. They've both been to the Creative Business Retreat by the Sea in past years. I've been doing this for a number of years now. It's in Virginia Beach, which is my hometown where I grew up, right on the ocean front. And what I know is that when you are in an environment like by the ocean, or especially by water, certainly the mountains do that for a lot of people. There is a way that it wakes up your heart, it wakes up your soul, it connects you to your spirit, and so much more is available to you than if you were to just try to do it alone, sitting in front of your computer. And so that's what we're going to be talking about. If you want to find out more about that retreat, you can go to joyfulbusiness.com/retreats by the sea, retreat by the sea, just one retreat by the sea. And you'll find more information there. We already have several spots filled up, so we have just a few left if you'd like to join us. I am offering something really special. If you have your call and sign up before April 1st, you actually get my Joyful Business Studio for free up until the retreat. It's like 7 months of membership, which is really an amazing bonus. So definitely mention that you saw this webinar, and we will make sure that you get that bonus if you decide to come to the retreat with us. And at the retreat, we are going to be, what I do is I create this environment that really is ripe for extraordinary possibilities. And it helps you tap into your feelings, your desire, your intuition, your creativity in a much deeper way than perhaps you've done before. And things have a way of coming to the surface that you want to create, kind of that bigger looks different for everybody. That bigger voice and the way that it wants to show up in the world through your unique, beautiful brilliance. So I'm going to leave you with that. I'm going to be talking more about this on a few more videos over the next couple of weeks. If you're interested in coming to the retreat, please make sure you send me a Facebook message, or you can email me at laura@joyfulbusiness.com. Be happy to talk with you about the retreat. Again, it really is, it is time for us to do something different and not be exhausted all the time, not be in overwhelm, and not just stopping and saying, okay, enough of this. What is the alternative? And the alternative is really using this business alchemy process. So we'll be talking more about it. I look forward to seeing you again on the next Facebook Live, and talk to you soon. All right, take care. Bye, everybody.